Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 24 of From the Crumbs. We are back again, 2 episodes in a row. My apologies for those of you who like to see a lot of variety. However, I thought I really needed to do this video because it has been exactly 1 year since I started this account, and we'll go ahead into the profile section and show you guys. It has been 300. It says 366. But you could see account was created last year on October 1st, so whatever. This is the 1 year anniversary of this account, which is awesome, which is why we're making this video today. And we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about that I'll talk about along the way as well. But it's been a year. It's been an awesome year. Thank you guys, everybody who's joined along the way and supported, the streams and the videos. Even though I'm a pretty inconsistent content creator. Today also happened to be the first day in over a week where there's not an excessive amount of background noise, so I could actually create a video for YouTube. So my apologies for not having any videos out recently, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about either way. So let's hop right into it. So most notably, we pulled a new Nat 5 Hathor. Pretty exciting. One of the big gripes I had on my account was that I wasn't really able to do RTA, or I wasn't able to be remotely competitive in RTA because of my just sheer lack of PvP units. Most of my units are really effective in PvE situations, even Trial of Ascension situations, and not as much in PvP. And of course that changes by having a Hathor, because of course Hathor is one of those double S or arguably triple S, more of a single or double S unit in RTA. She's really powerful. For those of you who don't know, she has the attack break, she has the strip and sleep, which is really nice because it removes all beneficial effects on a single target. And then her third skill that resets attack bar or decreases it by 75%, and then puts him to sleep for 2 turns, which is what she's most known for. That sleep, and then when paired with a monster like Ganymede, it's just infinite sleep. They never get a turn, which is pretty ridiculous. So she's really insane. Even on her own without a Ganymede, she's really insane because she puts them to sleep and they never wake up. So that's pretty cool. I was really excited to get her. She's currently the monster that I'm devil mining now. Another notable monster is Alsharion. He was, the final pieces were made available with the most recent event, and I was late by 9 days, or by 7 days or something like that, or 5. Because I did miss some pieces along the way, so I had to wait a little bit longer to get my Alsharion. I haven't 6-starred him yet just because I haven't put priority into leveling him. However, I just put Vero's runes on him so I could screw around with him. He's a lot of fun. He works exactly like I thought he would. And in terms of my Dragon Speed 10 speed team, which I was running, and I'll go ahead and run it here, although in all likelihood he will die, so this is not going to be a great representation of what he can do. You do want him 6-starred, obviously, if you're going to be making a speed team. But he essentially does everything that I wanted him to, which was, steal the beneficial effects from the enemy and put them on your team. I found it was really good in the Hall of Wind, B10. That was the stage where I was really testing him out because I was grinding in there to get wind essences to awaken all of the various wind monsters that needed highs. So I was farming in there, and him taking that invincibility from the boss and putting that on the team was really cool because you really get to see his kit shine there. We'll see how it works in Dragon's B10. I have an idea. That happened. That sucks. So we already whiffed. I don't think we're going to be able to beat this without the Water Twin just because the damage increase. Essentially, all the damage done by your team is as a result of the Water Twins, and the rest of the team is a bunch of utility monsters that are just supposed to help you get there. I've never experienced that with Veramos, and I think that's because Veramos's AoE stun at the mid-boss makes a huge difference. But we're just going to watch this through and see how it goes. Yeah, see, he's just taking a ridiculous amount of damage, and there's no immunity up yet. So that's the huge problem. Okay. So maybe this does perform worse than Vero does. Not only because of 6-star, but because we are going to take probably two continuous damage effects from the boss before we even get a chance to get the immunity. Wow. So Alsharion is even less impressive than I thought he was. So that's essentially the place that I was thinking that he would be really good in a speed team. However, it looks like it's been proved, or it looks like it's been shown, and I know that was only one run, but it looks like that is shown, to be not as much the case, since your team is essentially going to get hit by 2 continuous damage effects prior to being able to strip the immunity, since the dragon is faster than the right tower. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that yet. We'll see later. I mean, he's, like I said, he's not at 6-star, and we had the water boomerang die at the mid boss, which played a huge part. But I think not having the cleanse for it, and the fact that even if we do get the immunity, we're going to have continuous damage effects on our team, is still going to be pretty weak. I still have to do more testing with him. He's unskilled as well. Unskilled, 5-star, not even max level. Um, but essentially, that was the place where I was looking forward to use him. The other place, of course, is all the PvP situations. Of course, Guild War offense, potentially RTA. Not as much arena, but more of those more, I would say, intimate PvP situations like RTA and Guild Wars, where a single unit having that strip is going to make a huge difference. This is still the team I'm using. Really, really high success rate, even though literally every single time you run this, or almost every time you run this, you're going to see 2 people, 2 of your units die. It's not a big problem when the run is about 1 minute. And I use most of these units other places in the game anyway, so it's pretty nice to be able to go ahead and run the team with that. So same Giants team. I've still been grinding. That's why my crystals are lower. The Hathor I did pull because of a premium pack I bought after the Lucian rotation about a week ago. There was a Lucian rotation, of course, and I did not get a Lucian, obviously, or you guys would have seen an update video with my excitement shown. So we didn't pull a Lucian, so I decided to go ahead and use some of those TOA crystals and just get a single premium pack, and that premium pack led to, I think it was 2 or 3 Nat 4s and then a Hathor. We are currently still leveling up these Dice Magicians, getting 4 stars along the way, or 4-star food along the way, in order to turn them into 5-star. We do have enough fusion food to make 1 more Veramos, and I believe that's going to be close to all of the food that I need in order to make Alsharian a 6-star. We'll go ahead and show off storage too. There's not too much to talk about in here. Extra Dice Magician food, a lot of other food. Nothing too notable in terms of monster pulls, of course, besides pulling the Alsharian. Of course, we're always stockpiling these natural 2-stars for when we get XP boosters, and we are farming a bunch. Farming is always a little bit rough, just because the rune quality I'm looking for at this point is pretty high. Like, even though we end up keeping a lot of runes, a lot of them are either like really, really weird. Like this some of these runes don't make a lot of sense, or they're not really upgrades for our current monsters. So we don't have a whole lot to talk about in terms of rune improvements. In terms of 6-stars, I have food. I almost have enough food for 2 more 6-stars, not including Alsharian or the Dice Magician. So we could probably make 4 6-stars in this coming month, or in this month of October. Of course, Alsharian's going to get 6-starred as soon as we can. After we awaken Hathor, then we're going to 6-star her. Maybe play around with her a little bit. I don't know where we're going to mess around with her. We're definitely not going to do any RTA with her yet, because you do want her max skill for RTA. Maybe I'll see if I can do some Guild Wars stuff with her, but from what I can gather, the most effective way to use her in Guild Wars is to use her with the Succubus, or not use her, just because she's just so good in RTA. And the reason she's so good in RTA is because it's like controlling the enemy units, and having an entire, a group of 4 units on your side that can really synergize with her by, having either single target damage or having some benefit to getting all the turn advantage. Is not something you see as much in Guild Wars. But super excited to have her as a Nat 5. Other monsters I was thinking about 6-starring. I was just thinking about Chisoon. Maybe Chisoon can get 6-starred. She's on a really meh violent energy build. My violent runes aren't amazing. I've talked about this before in the past. My violent runes aren't that amazing, but honestly, the reason I was in Dragons was to get violent runes just for my raid teams, and I haven't even been running that much raid, because most of the upgrades I want to make on my units, and we'll go ahead and use Pungbake as an example, are not going to be as much of a result of wanting to have better grinds, although grinds would help in some few of these runes, but it's actually just going to be having higher rune quality, just better runes overall. Like this slot 6 100% can be, you know, upgraded. This slot 5 could definitely be upgraded as well, even though it's a purple rune. That's a rune that I guess I could use enchants on. Oh, and I got this enchant. So I got this speed enchant, so legendary speed enchant. I'm probably not going to put it on this rune. I'm going to save it for a rune that's like really, really high quality. Best case scenario would be a legendary rune that had whatever and then had crit rate, crit damage, and attack, and rolled everything except for that whatever. If that makes sense, like whatever 4 rolls into everything except for that other skill. It could be flat attack, flat HP, whatever, any other stat that I could enchant out for the speed. But I've yet to find one. There have been some changes to the game that are going to make getting resources just more easy. Well, not more easy as much as more obtainable to more players. For example, I want to go into the Tartarus Labyrinth and talk about this really quickly. I didn't make an update video on this, but there are now 5 attempts in the Tartarus Labyrinth, which is not as relevant to some accounts, but I'm getting to the point in the game where I could start thinking about building just some weaker teams so I could at least get 2 additional normal clears, because the immemorial grinds and just the general runes and grinds that you get as rewards, mostly the grinds and enchants though, can be really, really high quality and be better than a lot of the raid drops you can see. So building some teams to clear that in the future is definitely on my radar. Guild Wars and Guild Siege is the same. We're still farming. In terms of TOA, TOA normal is done, and TOA hard, we're at 89 now. We'll clear this within a day or 2. I'm not too worried about TOA clears anymore. I'm pretty much past worrying about any single stage. The only stage that has ever given me trouble has been the Leo Ragdoll floor, but even that floor I pretty much have down with the with all the units that I use that just have +0 crit rate, you know, with the Charlotte that I use and all the other CC units I use, my Manchura that has 0 crit rate. So I'm not super worried about that in the future, but should any other issues with that, you know, arise, then I will be sure to let you guys know. Let's see what else. That's probably it for the most part. We still have all these defense-based damage dealers that I haven't really ruined up. I messed around with Bulldozer a tiny bit just because I wanted to screw around and see. I had Swift a Swift blade set with defense scaling on it, and I thought might as well mess around with that, but I still haven't really decided what I want to do with them. I have Jojo ruined up for some TOA floors as well, but we're not going to talk about his rune set since he's built really awkwardly. That's probably it for the account for now. If you guys have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below. But again, thank you guys so much for like joining me along this like 1-year adventure with this account, because this account is now 1 year into progression, and I feel like it's going pretty well. Hopefully there's at least another year worth of progression in the game, so we'll see how that goes. Don't plan on buying this pack, although I was very, very tempted looking at that Lucian list. But that's it. That's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, it's West again. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more.